Okay, well, it was great to see the fans out tonight for the spring game. Thought we had a really good turnout. They were into the game. I think they love football, and they're looking forward to the football season. So we got to give them something to cheer about. I thought the guys came out and they played hard. It was a pretty good spring scrimmage, like you like to have, where you see some execution, you see some things that aren't very good, you see some things that definitely stand out as positives, and then you see some things that you definitely need to work on a whole lot to get better. And all those things happened in one game, and that's good for us, and we'll look at it and learn from it. Well, it's going to be an emphasis, and it always is. I think to create big plays is how you can score points and help your team win, and not turn it over, playing good defense. Those things go hand in hand, and Tyler has the arm. If we can run the ball, then it'll help us in the play-action game. If we can get vertical fast with our receivers, and they can get off press, and they can get off collisions, and they can stretch the field. You saw today that we hit some. I just think we got to keep working on it, and there's got to be multiple ways to do it. I think we hit a couple goal routes today, a couple hole shots versus cover two, and those are all good, but we still have to find other ways to get the ball vertical and make sure that big plays are being created to all receivers.
Obviously, just coming up and watching it, but how would you assess all the quarterbacks? I guess kind of how you did tonight as a group, because you got some young guys in there at the end, but mainly the four that took a ton of snaps.
I think it's about what we saw through camp. I think Tyler understands football. He had a pretty good day, maybe one little errant throw on a sidearm slant, and a good play by Quincy on a seam ball that he tried to drive in there. That Quincy did a really good job overlapping the outside receiver, so I give him credit. But he drove the ball up the field. He was accurate up the field. That's very important. And then I think once we get into game planning and get to creating other ways to get completions, move the chains, he'll be very efficient because he's an accurate passer. You saw Pierce come in, and he did some good things. And I think just developing the consistency, finding ways when he's in there to move the pocket and get him out where he can see a little bit and let him kind of see things as well as he can, but also give him some completions as well. I thought Harrison little shaky early on, but he can throw the ball as well. And I thought in the end he started to get in the groove. He was letting it rip. He was cutting it loose, and he did a good job. And I think Brady made some good throws as well. And nothing perfect, but they all displayed that they've improved, and I think they understand at some point we're going to need them all to play.
Jeff, you guys have talked about Chris and the spring that he's had tonight. It looked like he showed off some of the development. What's the biggest difference in him just now compared to even the end of last year?
I think the formula really isn't extremely complicated. Chris works very hard. He puts in the time and the work, and it shows. That's in the weight room. That's in conditioning. That's running routes. That's studying the game. You saw him today get up the field fast, make catches. Sometimes young receivers, when they get open, they'll occasionally make the catch. No, he made the catches, and he's going to have to do that for us this year. And I think Colin Lacey, we didn't get him the ball a whole lot today, but he's got to be a force in our offense. He's got some power, and we got to find ways to get him the ball. And then Ja'Cory Brooks is out right now, but he's got some speed and ability that because we're getting over the shoulder injury, he'll be back. But then I do think Jimmy Callaway had a good camp before he hurt his foot. Jaden Thompson made really good strides as well. Maybe didn't get the ball as much today, but he can play as well and get open. And I just think that there's a couple other younger receivers that are continuing to develop and doing a good job.
Jeff, just what do you like most about this defense? Obviously, the continuity helps, but it just seems like even through spring, just they've taken that next step, aggression, execution. Just what have you seen?
Well, there's some missing pieces right now, so I don't think we're exactly where we want to be. But we've seen more players emerge throughout spring that once we get everything solidified and people as healthy as we can for fall camp, I think we'll see a solid group right there. And there's plenty of secondary guys to go around. A couple of times we weren't consistent in where we wanted to be today, but they've had a good camp. The safeties have done a good job overall. the linebackers got to continue to develop. But in the D line, even though we're limited in that right now with some injuries, when they get healthy, I think they'll be a force for us.
Jeff, just kind of cool what you guys did at halftime there to see some of those faces come up and honor those players. What does that mean to you that just after year one, you have these kind of faces moving on to the next big thing and kind of building this program, seeing some of those faces emerge and the new players watching them too, knowing that could be them this next year?
It was great to have them back. Anytime your former players come back, especially ones that you just had this past year, they're all working hard to get a chance in the NFL. Some will get drafted, some will get in camp, some will make teams, some will make practice teams, some may have to fight their way and see if it happens, and others may have to move on. But they were great assets for our football team last year. They're great leaders. They're really good people. The skills they've developed through football will carry on beyond the game because the toughness that you have, the ability to fight through adversity, the leadership skills, the ability to be a team player when maybe you're not getting everything you want, but you still suck it up for the team. That they did it all. So I think our players see that and understand it. And the higher up you get, there's more talented players around you. You got to work hard to be the best, and sometimes that'll be you having to make a lot of plays, and other times that you'll be a role player. But you all got to do a part, and that's what we need this team to do, is develop all those components of a great team and stick together and figure out a way to win.
Jeff, what do you feel like the receivers did the most this spring to help them really progress and have the kind of game like they had tonight?
Well, I think Coach McGee understands what we're doing and relates well with our players. And like I said, Chris Bell's definitely stepped up his game, and he needs to. He needs to demand that he play at a high level and be an all-conference player, and that needs to be a goal. And there's some newcomers, like I mentioned, that need to work through it and understand things so they can play fast and make plays. And we got to put the time in every day to get it done, because I want to be able to see him line up, execute the route, play fast, sprint back, and do it again, and not look indecisive. And then we have some other guys that have been here in their second year. They definitely understand things more, and they've gotten better. And then some young players that are improving. And you need that perfect mix, and they have to be a force for us. The passing game has to be able to come through when we need it.
That's right. In games like this, you see maybe guys that some people aren't familiar with name-wise, like Sam Young, Chris Hughes, that kind of jump up and take a little bit of spotlight. What do you take from performances like this when they do jump up into the spotlight like that?
Well, that's what's great about football, is it's a team game, and Chris Hughes is a walk-on that really gets better every day. He works really hard. You can coach him hard. He doesn't miss reps. He doesn't miss practice. The guys love him, so you love it when he does well. Sam Young, he's a quarterback that we have to play receiver because we have 10, and it's hard to get all 10 in, even though we did last year. And he just goes out there and loves playing the game, along with all the other quarterbacks that have taken reps at receiver, even though they want to play quarterback. And these guys haven't complained. They're a special group. They love their teammates, and they love having fun. So, you just want to build a team with that type of camaraderie and chemistry, and then you just try to piece it together and put the best plan in front of them so that they can go out and enjoy wins.
I guess on the other side of that, when you look at some of those younger guys on the defensive side, Trent Carter made a play. I think Maurice Davis made a play. Knowing that you still have those defensive players that will be back, how encouraged are you by some of those younger players and knowing that you're kind of building that depth there?
The depth is being tested right now because there are a lot of young players, and Maurice is a true freshman that still should be in high school, and Trent as well. And they're out here going against college players and good players. Stan Kwan, I think you see him step up, and he's got to make plays for us. I just think you'll continue to see it. I think Aaron Williams has really had a great camp at the corner position, overcoming a knee injury last year. TJ Capers has continued to make strides in overcoming a knee injury last year, and he really came a whole year early, a year and a half early. So you just got to hang with them. You got to work with them. They have to be able to handle adversity, but at some point they're going to have to play. So to see some positive signs is always fun to see.
In the different world that we're in, is the next couple of weeks for you going to be figuring out who's going to stay with you and be here, and finding out what holes you have, and if you need to bring more guys in?
Well, that's the challenge right now in today's game, and you have to have that perfect balance where you want to do right by your players. You want them to have opportunities to play here or somewhere else. But you also have to, somehow teach the ability to fight through adversity and understand that things don't happen overnight. And you can't always get everything you want right away. You got to be able to work through things. So you got to have a good balance. You got to teach these guys that it's not always greener on the other side. And once you get in a game of switching things around, I hope it works out. But it's just I've been there. I was an NFL player, and I can remember being with the 49ers, and we brought a new coach in, and I played a little bit, and I was a little angry that they brought in another quarterback, and I don't remember. I might have even asked for my release and went somewhere else, and I shouldn't have done that, and that kind of started a chain of, man, God, I wish I just stuck it out, and maybe it would have worked out, maybe not. But I just think that you have to have that balance. You got to be willing to put the work in. Understand it's not going to happen overnight. Don't jump ship too early unless you just really feel that it's not a good match. But like I said, at the same time, I understand how it works. We're going to have people that maybe aren't on the depth chart where they want right now, that it's probably in their best interest maybe to look around. We're going to have others that maybe we want to keep here, that we feel good about where they're going, but it's not happening fast enough, and they may choose to go somewhere else. So, you got to continue to recruit just in case. There's a lot of movement and a lot of things shaking up, so that makes it challenging because it's been a busy week. It'll be an even busier week as we progress forward. But in the end, you want a group of guys that understand that, hey, it's time to start gelling as a team and doing your part and understanding that it's going to take everybody, whether you're the star player or role player or somebody who just is maybe a half a year away, you still got to grind this thing out and play together and not get frustrated and try to compare all these things. You got to just stick to it. And I just think in the end, we want a team of guys that want to be here, that want to compete to be the best. They're going to stick together, and they're going to play together and have some fun doing it. And if somebody doesn't fit, then we encourage them to try it somewhere else.